Hi everybody and welcome back. I'm one of the very fortunate people. I have two different platforms. So you're either watching this on the Diabetic Cooking with Love, or you're watching this on the DLCA, which is the Diabetic Lifestyle and Coaching Academy, DCLA. Anyway, Terry Dale is the host of that, and I am the host of Diabetic Cooking with Love. Please understand that I am not chef. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just a diabetic who is trying to fit 8 to 10 cups of vegetables into her diet daily. So thanks for stopping in. Today we're going to do easy butternut squash and soup, and everything that you need. See, here is everything that you need. So if you get yourself a double boiler or a Dutch oven, this is a Dutch oven. I have 3 different sizes. Please come this way. You'll see that I have this one, that one, and I have another one up there, which is the 3 different sizes. So this is soup that I made yesterday. So we'll get into this one another time. Right, today we are making easy butternut squash. You'll see that the ingredients say what you need is a ½ tablespoon of olive oil, coconut oil, or butter. I am going to use butter. Okay, 2 cloves of garlic minced, 1 diced onion, 1 butternut squash peeled and diced into cubes. Now what I've done, because I spoke to a friend of mine, what I was told was to roast the butternut squash first. That makes it tender and it gives it a delicious taste, and it adds another element, a deeper element to your soup. So that's what I've done here. And the other is 32 ounces of vegetable broth. As you can see here, I've got organic vegetable broth, so that is good. This is an organic butternut squash, and all of the ingredients you see up here are organic. And the last thing, it says 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt, which is what I have here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mince up the butternut squash, mince up the garlic, and I'm going to dice the onion, and I will be right back. Hi, welcome back. Okay, so what I've done is I have cut up the butternut squash, which you'll see here. I have diced the onion, and I am going to mince the garlic into. So the recipe says in a Dutch oven or heavy pot, heat olive oil over medium heat. I use butter, so I've got butter melting over here over medium heat. Come on over, Steve. So if you look in the pot, I've got butter melting. The recipe says ½ tablespoon, so I approximated. So now that the butter is melted, we are told to add onions and garlic. So I'm adding the onions. That's that. And now I will add the garlic. And it wants this garlic to warm up until soft, about 5 minutes. So there's the garlic. Pardon. So there's the garlic added. Garlic is delicious and wonderful, but these things are a pain in the backside, I'll tell you. Anyway, so now I'm scraping out the garlic of my garlic press. As you can see, we've got the onions, we've got the garlic cooking. Turn that up a little bit, get that going. Alrighty, so we'll let that cook a little bit, and then it says add onions and garlic, cook until soft in about 5 minutes, then add the butternut squash and the vegetable broth. So we're letting our onions cook a bit. We've turned it up so it'll cook faster. Soften your onions and your garlic, add your butternut squash and your vegetable broth. So, this is a medium-sized butternut squash. And what I did to roast it is I cut it in half, took the seeds out, left it in the skin, put a little bit of butter, salt and pepper, and then I put a pat of butter in it to cook into the butternut squash. So there's quite a bit of butter in here, because, you know, butter makes everything better. So, my garlic is cooking, my onions are cooking, and when they're softened, I will add my butternut squash and my vegetable broth. And then it says 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt to taste. Then it says, carefully pour entire contents of pot into a blender. I have a Blendtec. Now, personally, I'm not particularly fond of this. I like this soup with chunks. So I don't put it in the Blendtec myself, or the Vitamix or whatever. I don't like the soup. I prefer the soup with the chunks. So, I personally don't do this, but if you want a smoother soup like butternut squash is supposed to be like, then by all means, put it in the Blendtec when you're done, or the Vitamix. Alright, so we don't want anything to burn. But my onions are getting softer, and my garlic is softening up. I like to use a wooden spoon when I'm cooking. I don't know, just something I picked up from my grandmother. Just makes things a lot happier for me. Alrighty. So, these have softened. I'm now going to add the butternut squash, like so. And then it says to add the vegetable broth. And the recipe calls for 32 ounces of broth, which is approximately 900 milliliters. It's actually 943, we looked it up. So, this is what we do. Now it says to let all of this simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to allow this to simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. We'll see you then. Hi everybody, we're back. Alright, so it's been 20 minutes, and this is what the soup looks like. So here you have your squash, your onions, your garlic, and oh my gosh, it smells so good. Does it smell good, Steve?
It definitely does.
Okay.
That's why it's my favorite.
There you go. So now what we do, this is done. Now, like I said, you would take this and put it in the Vitamix blender if you wanted a smooth soup. I personally prefer it this way, myself. So, what we do is we take a ladle of soup. And as you can see, we got the butternut squash, the onions, the garlic, and then we take a little bit of green onion as a garnish. And there you have it. Butternut, easy butternut squash soup. So thank you for joining in. Steve is now going to enjoy his soup. This is Diabetic Cooking with Love, Danica, and the DCLA.